Implementing environmental management plan. Implementing environmental management plan. Today we are going to be looking at other management plans that you could need in able to have a smooth running of your project, of your investment project from start to finish. So we will be looking at management plans that cut across different aspects of an investment project. The webinar objective this time is to introduce you to management plans associated with impacts or environmental risk. So these are the management plan aside the ESMP that we have treated. We have the footprint management plan, emergency preparedness and response plan, EPRP, transport and traffic, occupational health and safety, environmental monitoring, integrated waste management plan, air quality, noise and vibration, water management plan. All of this management plan differ in their necessity. Not all of the management plans are needed for specific projects. So some projects may require a number of management plans while others may require just a few. So it depends on the project and the impact or the risks identified. This is the reason why management plans will be developed to address those risks and assign responsibilities to persons dealing on the project or working on the project to ensure that those risks or impacts are minimized whenever practicable. So we have also the biodiversity management plan, influx, employment and training management plan, local community development fund management plan, small and medium enterprises, community health and safety and security management plan, greenhouse gas emissions and climate change management plan. So in this webinar, this particular module, we are not going to be taking any one. This is an overview. But later on, we are going to be centering on each of these management plans and bringing you cases where they are applicable and why they should be considered for some projects while others they may not be considered. So please subscribe to our our Instagram channel, Rich Flood EMV, so that we can bring you all of these management plans one after the other and let you understand when you should be developing them and how you should develop them and what roles should be assigned to which people in the company or in the project implementation teams. So we have the local employment and procurement policy, the local employment strategy and comprehensive community investment plan. We would also be looking at most commonly used management plans that are attached to environmental impact assessments, when conducted. You see here the land acquisition plan, livelihood restoration plan. When land is taken from people, their livelihood is likely going to be affected. So the livelihood restoration plan is being considered. Then we have the SEP, Stakeholders Engagement Plan. This is also very, very crucial almost in all projects, almost in all investment projects. So this, to me, in my opinion, is the #1 plan you should look at before you even commence your project implementation, because it takes place throughout the life cycle of a project. Then we have these two rapid human rights impact assessment, including planning, and rapid health impact assessment, including planning. We will explain more on their meaning, why it is rapid, and why we combine it, saying including planning, and how to go about this when it is necessary and when it is not. So I brought this I added this to my slide for us to be able to have an idea when you need, which project requires which management plan, what impacts warrants the development of which management plans. So these are specific impact and management plans suitable to address those impacts. You see the air quality. What you need for air quality impact management is construction management plan, traffic management plan. During, if you're analyzing noise and there is going to be noise impacts, you will need the construction management plan as well, traffic management plan as well, and site closure and restoration plan. For soils, for impacts affecting soils and geology, you will need a construction management plan, traffic management plan, waste management plan, site closure and restoration plan, spill response plan, and emergency response plan. When the impact of a particular project is going to be affecting water resources, you will need the construction management plan, the waste management plan, site closure and restoration plan, spill response plan, emergency response plan. Then when the impact will center on biodiversity, you will need to develop the BMP, that is the Biodiversity Management Plan, Construction Management Plan, Traffic, as you can see, Site Closure and Restoration Plan, Spill Response Plan, and Emergency Response Plan. When there's going to be waste generation, and this is going to be a major impact on the project, you have the construction management plan, of course, the waste management plan, the site closure and restoration plan, the spill response plan, and emergency response plan. When your impact is going to center on physical resettlement, economic resettlement, impacts to demographic profile, none of these impacts we listed above will be applicable. Rather, it will be covered by the resettlement action plan, influx management plan, local employment and procurement policy, and the local employment strategy. When the impacts are going to be centered on cultural institutions, you will have comprehensive community investment plan, you will have physical cultural resources management plan, local employment and procurement policy, and the local employment strategy. Impact to employment and economy, you have employment and workforce policy, you have comprehensive community investment plan, local employment and procurement policy, and local employment strategy. Impacts to infrastructure, you will have influx management plan and a comprehensive community investment plan. Impacts to health profile, you will also have traffic management plan. Now, the International Finance Corporation actually makes some of these plans very compulsory before they consider investing in a particular project. So this is why it is important to get familiar. Some local banks also will demand this, even though it's not common, but the World Bank and the African Development Bank in most cases will want to see that these management plans are put in place in order to ensure for a smooth running of the business, both in the design, the construction, operation, and the decommissioning phases. So, but locally in most countries, you will have the fact that when you have your environmental impact assessment and you have your environmental management plan, this seems to be okay if the environmental management plan is very robust. So you won't have to develop each of these plans that are listed. So it depends on a lot of factors. It depends on the standard being used per time. The highest standard is usually the best standard, but you can start from simple systems within your project, for your project implementation. You can start with some simple systems like the environmental management plan and incorporate some of these issues, the impacts, and how to address them and how to mitigate against the impact or reduce the impact or avoid where possible. This can be incorporated in your environmental management plan as well. But when necessary to be developed as a separate standalone document, this will be a useful tool as a guide to see if you. I hope that this webinar was useful for you, and please join our Instagram page, RichFloodEMV. Follow us so that we can bring you the next module dealing with other plans, dealing with the plans one after the other, when it is needed, why, and how you should put up the plan, who monitors what and when, including the cost, what it will take to implement the plans. Thank you very much and goodbye.